It is the News Blitz with Randy Wang on Talk Radio 790 KABC. We're here every single day from 5 to 6 talking about the local issues that matter to you most and taking your phone calls at 800-222-KABC, 1-800-222-5222. We take your emails as well at randykabc@gmail.com. That's randykabc@gmail.com. And if you want to subscribe to the podcast of this show, there's a real easy way to do it.
Google on YouTube.
Yeah, we're on YouTube. That's pretty easy. Gavin Newsom is in a signing blitz. He has until the end of the month to either sign or veto over 990 bills, nearly 1,000. The fact that we come up with 990 bills to pass every year is a topic all unto itself. But one of the ones that is getting a lot of question marks and a lot of, wait, didn't we do that already? And some deja vu is Gavin Newsom signing a bill from Catherine Blakespear that would ban plastic bags at grocery stores. And if you're thinking, wait a second, didn't we do that 10 years ago? Well, yes. Yes, we did. We banned plastic bags in 2014, and then plastic bags went away. Then 2 years later, these thicker plastic bags were in the grocery stores, and apparently they're not as recyclable as people thought. So now the California legislature needs to ban all the plastic bags. You can buy a paper bag, or you can get a tote. I got lots of tote bags. And I got to tell you, I have the weirdest thing about me is I feel weird and ashamed if I bring in a different company's bags to that grocery store. So if I'm picking up something at Gelson's, I have this weird obligation. I've got to use my Gelson's tote bags. If I am going to Trader Joe's, I've got to use my Trader Joe's tote bags. If I'm going to Ralph's, I don't have one of those anymore. I don't know why. It's just a weird thing about me. I feel this weird sense of brand loyalty. No, I got to bring your bags in. They don't care. And you know, the other day, a Gelson's bag slipped into my Trader Joe's bag pile at Trader Joe's, and I just had to deal with it and realize it's my problem and nobody else cares. Now, I happen to be one of the few people that actually took those big, heavy plastic bags that you could get at the grocery stores and I reused them. Maybe I'm not alone in this, but I got about 7 or 8 from Gelson's and I constantly put them with my 2 or 3 Gelson's tote bags. That way I've got enough stuff to go around. I've been doing that for a very long time. In fact, I noticed at one point that chain was already phasing out those plastic bags. So I thought, oh boy, this is great because I still have them. They work out just fine. But I guess most people just throw them out. And they're not nearly as recyclable as we thought. So everything's getting banned. How is this going to affect you? Let's find out from ABC7 Eyewitness News.
Meanwhile, the governor is also tackling the issue of plastic waste with a familiar solution. Governor Newsom has signed a new law banning plastic bags at supermarkets.
So how is this banned?
It's funny, too, because the old bags seemed like they used way less plastic than the new ones. But what do you know? When that law was passed in 2014, there were a few loopholes. Also, for some reason, part of the bag ban was allowing the grocery stores to pass on the cost to you in the name of a dime.
So how is this ban different from the old one, and what does it mean for the next time you go to the grocery store? Eyewitness News reporter Rob Hayes is live in Burbank with those answers. Rob?
Yeah, you know, sometimes laws work and sometimes they don't. State law.
Well, that's, to put it lightly, a very true statement.
Yeah, you know, sometimes laws work and sometimes they don't. State lawmakers say that first law didn't work and actually put more plastic into play. So the new law says grocery stores like this one soon will have to stop doling out plastic bags.
It truly is a more California story than anything else. In the name of reducing plastic usage, California crafted a law in 2014 to ban plastic bags. And the result of that law, whether it be through the loopholes that were put in there by the lobbyists or the fact that you can't really change behavior this way, plastic usage went up. It went up dramatically. And those bags are way heavier. Although I always get confused because those little flimsy plastic bags, the ones that you used to be able to use for like cat poop, now I have to buy my own bags for that, so I'm already using more plastic. You can't get those at the grocery store, but you can at Home Depot. And they don't even charge you for it. I don't know why that is. I'm like, oh yeah, that's what those bags used to be like.
That first law didn't work and actually put more plastic into play. So the new law says grocery stores like this one soon will have to stop doling out plastic bags. California.
I'd love to know at 800-222-KABC, 1-800-222-5222, if you happen to be a customer at a grocery store and you get those plastic bags, those heavy ones that you get at Ralph's or you get at Gelson's or Vaughn's or Albertsons or Sprouts, do you ever reuse them or do you just throw them out? I reuse them, but I don't know if I'm in the majority on that one. 800-222-KABC, 1-800-222-5222. Did you actually reuse your, quote, reusable plastic bag? 800-222-KABC.
California certainly has a strange way of banning plastic bags, with the grocery store staples littering the state and piling up in dumps. 10 years ago, the legislature passed a law banning plastic bags considered to be one-time use. But guess what happened?
And those bags were not one-time use. Everyone had a little ball of them under the sink, and because they were really easy to compress, and they were real easy to use for a whole bunch of things. Cat litter being the most important one of them.
But guess what happened?
There was a sudden surge in these much thicker plastic bags. Grocery stores felt like they met the definition of a reusable plastic bag.
Yes, because there were loopholes written into the law, the same law that allowed the grocery stores to charge you a dime for every single bag.
But what we found is that they're really not being reused at all.
Wait a second. Hold on a second. My ears are specifically tuned to British and UK voices because my wife and I watch a lot of Love Island.
Definition of a reusable plastic bag.
Welsh? It's not Irish. I don't think she's Scottish.
Met the definition of a reusable plastic bag, but what we found is that they're really not being reused at all.
Maybe Liverpool. I don't know. In fact, I think I need to watch 100 more hours of Love Island to see if I could figure out what that accent is. But yes, these are the questions I ask myself.
Laura Dean is with the group California Environment, which helped shape the new plastic bag ban. It's needed because the 2014 law, Dean says, initially put a big dent in bags thrown away, but eventually the numbers took off.
Yes, because we had these thicker plastic bags that were somehow okay with the way the law was written. All right, then. And then everyone also bought all these tote bags. I have a ridiculous amount of them, and I don't even know how long it takes for those things to degrade. I believe I heard once the statistic was for every single tote bag that is produced, and I use them for a lot of things. That big old, almost woven one from Trader Joe's is the best for picnics. But those things, I think it's like it takes the amount of energy of 25,000 bags before those things start paying off in an eco sense.
A CalPERG study found...
That being said, I do like them. And like you heard me say, I have to have like 4 or 5 for each different brand because I'm an insane person.
A CalPERG study found that from 2014 to 2021, the amount of plastic shopping bags trashed per person grew by almost 44%. So the new law does away with all plastic bags. If you don't bring your bags, you'll be offered a chance to buy paper bags.
Really focused in on anybody that sells groceries. So it will include Target and Walmart because they sell groceries.
You know, now I think it's Scottish. Okay, that doesn't matter.
As well as your local Safeway.
We reached out to the American Recyclable Plastic Bag Alliance for comment, but we didn't hear back before our deadline today. People we spoke to outside grocery stores didn't flinch when told of the plastic bag crackdown.
I'm all right with that. You know, I've been using these for years now. At first, I had to get used to it, but now it's sort of like I just grab them and it's natural.
The new ban became official yesterday with Governor Gavin Newsom's signature, and it's not the only bag ban in his bag. Back in 2007, when he was mayor of San Francisco, he signed the nation's first plastic bag ban.
So this is his third.
Now, this isn't going to happen overnight. We have more than a year to get ready. It kicks into effect January 2026. Reporting live in Burbank, Rob Hayes, ABC 7 Eyewitness News.
So there you go. Gavin Newsom is banning plastic bags. I know. It feels like we keep talking about the same stories over and over and over again. It's like the gondola to Dodger Stadium. That story's been in the news for 10 years. And banning plastic bags, that's been in the news for 10 years. Hey, do you actually reuse those big old plastic bags at the grocery store? Because apparently they're supposed to be recycled and used for multiple uses. Do you use them for something else? Are you going to miss them? Because they're going away. In fact, Gelson's already got rid of them, and the law hasn't even taken effect yet. 800-222-KABC, 1-800-222-5222. Let's go to Rocco in Santa Clarita. Rocco, hello.
Hey, Randy, thanks for taking my call. I haven't called in a while. But no, I don't care about the plastic bags. I don't use them. I use paper when I can. I use plastic bags. I throw them away. I don't recycle. This is a sham. The whole ecology stuff is a sham. I'm a rocket engineer. I worked for NASA. I've worked for NASA for a few years. I worked for the aerospace industry. This is all a sham that science is perpetrating on us. We have to get away from it. I don't know what to do. But to give you an idea, the bumper on my car, the rear bumper on my car, I have 4 exhaust pipes, and over them I have bumper stickers that say, I support global warming, with an arrow pointing down at them. So, hey, this is ridiculous. We have to have they have homeless, drug addicts beating up people on the trains, and they're worried about plastic bags? Who cares? Get your act together. There is priority here, and this is not a priority.
This is what you get when you have a full-time legislature up in Sacramento that has an entire year to come up with 1,000 new ways to change your life every year.
Yes, but they should punish the criminals, the real criminals, the ones that are stabbing people on the trains. Come on, this is nonsense.
But Rocco, really, that's not equitable.
I don't care about equity. I care about merit, merit, merit. If you're better than somebody else, you deserve better. If you're not as good as somebody else, oh well, not my fault. Not your fault, just the way it is. It's called God. It's called evolution.
There you go, Rocco. Thanks so much for calling. Good to talk to you, buddy. 800-222-KABC is the phone number, 1-800-222-5222. Gavin Newsom just signed a law that's banning plastic bags. You heard me right. It's 10 years later, and we passed the same law twice. Although this time it's going to ban the plastic bags that were used as a workaround in the grocery stores. Are you going to miss the plastic bags? Did you actually use them for more than one thing? Because apparently the reason those were allowed in the stores is that they're supposed to be recyclable and reusable. Oh, there's a whole thing on that. 800-222-KABC, 1-800-222-5222. Let's go to Anthony in Lakewood. Anthony, hello.
Hello. Hey, Randy. I love your show. I love listening every day when I get off work. You know what? Those bags cannot go away. I'm on my second kid. I might have a third, and I use them for diapers. I do not want to use a big old bag for diapers, so those are perfect. Who wants a big baby poop in their house? You want to tie those things off and throw them away.
Oh, yeah. And if you think about it, if they get rid of those bags that you've been using for the diapers, you're going to have to use a whole garbage bag every single time and tie that up, and that's going to use even more plastic.
Exactly. The efficiency is gone. We need those plastic bags. They're extremely useful.
Oh, yeah. And the ones from 10 years ago used even less plastic, and they were just as useful for diapers.
I know. If they get rid of them, just like you said, I'm going to have to go shop at Home Depot that much more. I'm going to buy a bunch of small bolts and screws, buy a bunch of little individual purchases so I can stock back up again.
Yeah, you buy a little bag of screws and say, can I get a bag for each individual screw?
Exactly, man. That's exactly my plan. So, you know what? Please don't get rid of them. We need these plastic bags for all sorts of other things when we leave the grocery store.
There you go, Anthony. Thanks so much for the call. Appreciate it. Now, you could also just take as many of those produce bags as you want and use that for something. Although those aren't plastic anymore at some of the stores. They turned to these biodegradable ones, and I like them because they're easier to pull off of the wheel. 800-222-KABC is the phone number. Maria in Orange. Maria, hello.
Hi, Randy. The guy before actually stole my comment. I actually also use them for my toddler's poopy diapers.
What are you going to use for poopy now?
I'm actually going to still use what I use is the Amazon packages that come, the bags. So I'm going to keep using those, and maybe I'll leave them out for porch pirates too, just in case.
Now that would be a great stunt. They come in thinking that they're stealing your supplies, and they get a special present for them.
Exactly.
I love it. Maria, thanks so much for the call. Appreciate it. You know, I'm getting a little worried based on the people that are calling in that if we don't have these bags, the world's going to get a lot stinkier real soon. 800-222-KABC is the phone number. Gavin is banning plastic bags again. Are you okay with this? Did you use those bags for more than just that one time? 800-222-KABC. Let's go to Brandy in San Diego. Brandy, hello.
Hey, this has always been a pet peeve of mine. I got so angry when it first happened because I knew immediately they weren't more recyclable. I mean, duh. And I throw them right away, and I use them for dog poop. But you know what? On the same time he banned the bag, I think on that same ballot there was an initiative that said that, okay, where do you want the dime to go? Should it go to environmental purposes and services? And I think I know the voters in California said no. We're not supporting them for whatever reason they did. So who got that dime? So I'm just thinking there's more to this story besides the baloney. I wanted somebody to follow the money. I thought maybe the unions at the grocery store were getting it, but I still think it's all a huge money grab, and I'd really like to know who got all those millions and billions of dollars from the 10 cents charge for those bags.
As far as I know, and I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure it was part of the negotiation when that law got passed back in 2014 that the give me to the big grocery chains and the big grocery unions is they could pass on the cost of the bags with that 10 cents. So the grocery stores get that. And that was the trade-off for having to get rid of the plastic bags, which a lot of people liked over the paper bags because even though a paper bag might be better for the environment, the handles rip off and then you drop off your groceries on the parking lot.
Yeah, but now everybody's going to be all upset because you're cutting down trees. I mean, for heaven's sakes, I love Home Depot. All right, have a good night.
You've learned the secret. I think the secret's out about Home Depot. Brandy, thanks so much for the call. Appreciate it. I don't know why it's that way. I mean, it's not groceries, although you can buy cleaning supplies at Home Depot. But they have those old school plastic bags, and you can get them. 800-222-KABC is the phone number. 1-800-222-5222. Gavin Newsom is banning plastic bags. The last time we did this, plastic usage went up. Do you think Gavin's going to save the planet this time? 800-222-KABC, 1-800-222-5222. It's the News Blitz with Randy Wang on Talk Radio 790 KABC. It's the News Blitz with Randy Wang on KABC. We're taking your phone calls at 800-222-KABC, 1-800-222-5222. It feels like it's 2014 all over again. The California legislature and Gavin Newsom have passed a plastic bag ban, this time to ban those thicker plastic bags that showed up 2 years after the original plastic bag ban. Did you actually use those things for more than one use? Are you going to miss them? 800-222-KABC. Let's go to Sean in Covina. Sean, hello.
Greetings, Randy. The whole bag thing was doomed from a failure because it was free for EBT, and also if anyone getting deliveries did not use bags. So after the COVID, people were getting delivery, and from EBT, that doomed it from the beginning. The only people who really reused them were Asian-born people. They either reused them or didn't use bags. Older people, and will I miss it? Well, there was great. You can put 3 2-liter bottles in it, and it wouldn't fall over. And you didn't have to double bag it, but it was doomed from the beginning.
You know what's funny? You go back to COVID times, and especially those first few months where they used to think that, the COVID could get on surfaces and stuff. And the grocery stores were actually like, hey, those reusable bags we've told you about for years? Stop bringing them to the grocery store. You need to use single use.
You are correct, Randy. It was a whole reversal, and it was actually single use is more sanitary because a lot of older people would bring back the old bag, and lo and behold, they'd leave that meat that they forgot to take out from a week ago.
Oh, now I have to think about that, but you make a really good point. Sean, thanks so much for the call. Appreciate it. That's true. That has happened. 800-222-KABC is the phone number, 1-800-222-5222. One day I was unloading groceries. I think this was during COVID, and we were getting meat deliveries, and I was putting a whole bunch of stuff in the fridge, and I was trying to make room, so I put a package of chicken thighs on top of the fridge while I'm making room. Totally forgot about it. Woke up the next morning. My wife was like, what the hell is that smell? Oh, my goodness. 800-222-KABC is the phone number. Michael, Susan, Larry, Aaron, James, we're going to you next. It's the News Blitz with Randy Wang on Talk Radio 790 KABC. It is the News Blitz with Randy Wang on Talk Radio 790 KABC. We're here every single day from 5 to 6 talking about the local issues that matter to you most and taking your phone calls at 800-222-KABC, 1-800-222-5222. We take your emails as well at randykabc@gmail.com. That's randykabc@gmail.com. And subscribe to the podcast of this show. It's real easy to do. Go to kabc.com/newsblitz, search KABC News Blitz in Apple Podcasts, or
Google on YouTube.
You can also do that. We're taking your phone calls at 800-222-KABC. It's 2014 all over again. Gavin Newsom has signed a ban on plastic bags that would ban the plastic bags that weren't banned in the last plastic bag ban. It's confusing to say. Did you use those plastic bags? Are you going to miss them? Did you use them for more than one use as intended? 800-222-KABC. Let's go to Susan in Santa Clarita. Susan, hello.
Hey, I have an idea. So I think that this Home Depot thing is a crack up. But since I own a cleaning company, I'll give you a hot tip. Buy the 4-gallon bags at Smart & Final. It sounds like they're big, but they're actually not. They're about the same size or smaller than the ones at the grocery store. And they're thinner, so you're doing less damage to the environment, number one. Number two is I think he's the worst governor we've ever had in the history of America, but I think he actually should ban the plastic bags because for whatever reason, like the last caller, that they're reusable because they're so thick. Why do we have such thick plastic bags? We don't need that. I think we just all need to get used to bringing our own bags, honestly. And I'm really conservative. I hate laws. But I do think this is probably good. I think people are lazy and they forget to bring their bags.
Well, this is the thing. Sometimes people forget, or, I forget to put them in my car occasionally, but I have like 10 in my car almost all the time. But I think what's weird is when the original law was passed, it allowed this exemption for what they said was going to be a recyclable plastic bag, which is those bigger, heavy ones. Mm-hmm. And it turns out they're not recyclable at all.
Right. Of course. They're so thick. It's unbelievable. So not a good idea. But, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure out that they're not biodegradable. It's very odd, the whole thing. Anyway, but yeah, we just all need to bring our own bags. They're not that expensive. It'd be good for the environment. And I'm conservative. True. I can work on both sides of the aisle, we just have to get in a good habit. That's my opinion.
Hey, most people are conservative on some things, liberal in some other things. People are individuals, and they have individual values, and they have individual thoughts.
Yeah, I like that. That's good. Well said.
There we go, Susan. Thanks so much for the call. Appreciate it. She's so chipper because she lives in Santa Clarita. I grew up there. It's lovely. Let's go to Michael in Irvine, another gorgeous part of Southern California. Michael, hello.
Hey, Randy. Whatever Rocco said 10 times, the lady who just spoke was fantastic. She was absolutely spot on correct. Newsom is an idiot. And that's probably and I got a question. How do you know when he's lying? He opens his mouth. How do you know
when Gavin's lying?
He opens his mouth.
It's pretty good, Michael.
That's all I got. Thank you. Take care.
Thanks so much for the call. Appreciate it. Living in Irvine, safest city in America. Nice weather, 10 degrees cooler than where I am in the San Fernando Valley. Close to Disneyland, close to Newport Beach. I'm not jealous. Let's go to Aaron in North Hollywood. Aaron, hello.
Yeah, hi, Randy. I love this show. So I'm not sure how well this law will work out just because what's the stop you actually buying the bags off the shelf? Like, we already buy rolls of dog waste bags, trash bags. Why not just have a whole new line of, like, shopping bags?
Oh, that's the funniest thing about this. I mean, half of the things in the grocery store are either plastic things you can buy or things in plastic packaging.
Yeah, so what's just to stop you have a roll of like 100 bags at home? Now you can use them way more often than you need to, and you have to wait every time you go shopping and get more bags.
It's just, it's interesting how the intended consequence of this rule back in 2014 was to reduce plastic usage, and it went up 40% in the last 10 years.
Well, it's only go up further.
Yeah, thanks so much for the call, Aaron. Appreciate it. I used to live practically in North Hollywood, so I'm not that jealous about that. Let's go to James in Azusa. James, hello.
Yeah, Randy, yeah, I'm going to miss plastic. I use them till the labels wear off. I love plastic.
Well, now you're not going to get a chance to, even though you did the right thing and you reused them.
I use them. And, I just got one question. How's Gavin going to save the planet when he can't even save his political career?
That's a very good question. Thanks so much for the call, James.
Thanks.
Appreciate it. This show has turned into Rip on Gavin Day. He didn't like that one.
I mean, this is the dumbest stuff I've ever heard.
800-222-KABC is the phone number. 1-800-222-5222. Let's go to San Pedro. Let's go to Elaine in San Pedro. Hello.
Hi. I have multiple uses, but one of the things I did is I saw a Facebook hack, and I flatten the bag, fold it into thirds lengthwise, and then I fold it like a flag, so it comes out like this little compact triangle. So I can keep them in the side of my pocket of my car. I can slip them into my pocket when I go into the grocery store, and they don't take up a lot of room at home. So I will reuse them for groceries. I live by myself, so I don't have a lot of garbage. So I don't need a big old garbage bag to put into my garbage can. So I reuse the bag for that as well. And you took my other point of it seems ridiculous when we're bringing home everything packaged in plastic to put it in non-plastic bags. It makes no sense.
I'm so glad you brought up the thing about the grocery bags. My in-laws do that, and it's kind of awesome. So they don't ever buy like hefty bags, because anytime they go shopping somewhere, if they're given a big plastic bag or a paper bag, they put that in the waste bin, and then they use that. So they absolutely are, not wasting any extra plastic when they don't have to. That's something that you can do. You're thinking ahead.
And when I have to use paper, all these paper bags are horrible. They got rid of their plastic bags a year ago. Trader Joe's plastic bags are awesome. But what I do with those is I clip down the four corners, fold them down, and they fit perfectly in my paper shredder. So when the bags are full, I pull up the sides, staple it closed, and I can put the whole thing in my recycle.
Well, there you go. Look at that, Elaine. Thanks so much for the tips. We appreciate it. 800-222-5222 is the telephone number. 800-222-KABC. Gavin Newsom is banning the plastic bags once again, the thicker ones that for some reason were allowed under the last plastic bag ban. How do you feel about this? Did you use those more than once? They were supposed to be reusable. Now they're going away. 800-222-KABC. 1-800-222-5222. More of your calls next. It's the News Blitz with Randy Wang on Talk Radio 790 KABC. It's the News Blitz with Randy Wang on KABC. If you'd like to email us, you can do so at randykabc@gmail.com. Christy writes in and says, I predict the plastic bag ban will be as effective as the ban on gas leaf blowers. Yeah, isn't that supposed to be noise pollution? Yeah, they're not going to enforce that one. Let's go to Larry in Oxnard. Larry, hello.
Hey, how you doing today?
Doing great.
Hey, I think that using the plastic bags, I use them all the time. I carry 2 of them in my pocket, so when I go shopping, I don't have to buy one. But the reason we have plastic bags is the environmentalist wackos started yelling and screaming 20, 30 years ago that we were cutting all the trees down to make paper bags. They don't realize wood is a product that you grow, but it takes 80, 90, 100 years for a crop. So every 100 years, they go cut it down and plant new trees. But that's the reason we have plastic bags. The environmentalists were the ones that instigated us trying to save trees.
Isn't that fascinating? And if the environment was really the issue then, plastic bags have been way more destructive to the environment than paper.
I use them all the time. Like I said, I carry 2 with me when I go shopping, but I've got a cabinet at home full of the little flimsy bags, and I'll use those to give away produce out of my garden. So I'm reusing everything 2 or 3 times. But I know there's a problem of pollution, but that's everybody's problem. There's a lot of kids out there nowadays, they won't put anything in the trash. They just sort of throw it along the side of the street. I'm picking up old bottles and soda bottles and stuff in my front yard all the time from kids walking down the street.
How dare they? Well, sounds like you're a great neighbor giving away your produce. That's awesome. My neighbor does that to me. Larry, thanks so much for the call out in Oxnard. Oxnard is also another beautiful part of Southern California. Hey, let's do this real quick. 790 KABC welcomes Danny Elfman to the Hollywood Bowl on November 2nd. Tickets are on sale now at Ticketmaster.com, but right now, caller number 9 at 1-888-795-2222 gets a pair of tickets to the show. Tickets furnished by Live Nation. Good luck dialing. More of your calls coming up. It's the News Blitz with Randy Wang on KABC. It's the News Blitz with Randy Wang on KABC. If you'd like to email us, you can do so at randykabc@gmail.com. Susan writes in and says, I say ban Gavin Newsom and keep the plastic bags. Let's go to Jay in Mission Viejo. Jay, hello.
Hi, Randy. Jay here. Hey, I'm actually for plastic bags. I think, need is always the mother for invention, right? So I think if we need to be able to figure out how to use those things, I mean, honestly, you could fill up a plastic bag with the foam from Home Depot and make a brick, and then use that brick for insulation, or maybe make a floating device or something like that. But I actually am for plastic. So, it's funny because George Carlin does a stick on plastic. I don't know if you remember who he is, but he does this whole stand-up on plastic, and it's amazing.
I'm going to have to Google that because I don't remember that specific routine, but George Carlin was one of the greatest comedians of all time.
Yeah, and he does a stick on plastic, and it's hilarious. But, I think we can figure out how to use it, and then still keep our trees and everything. But the last caller about the environmentalists, that's the main issue here.
Oh, yeah. Thanks so much for the call, Jay. Appreciate it. Vince writes in at randykabc@gmail.com and says, the diaper guy uses the heavy-duty bags. We use them every morning to sift the cat box. I'm glad to pay 10 cents for a kitty litter bag. Let's go to Dave in Whittier. Dave, hello.
Hey, Randy. There's several things. The Newsom and the California Democrat legislature, they will do anything to get any vote, no matter how unethical or hurtful it is to the public, to get campaign contributions. They're catering to the extreme environmentalists. The thing is that these bags were already supposed to be banned, but because of election purposes, they didn't go full bore. Now what's going to happen is these cloth bags we're using will be unsanitary. They're going from the conveyor belt to your car, to your floor, to your carpet in your house, and back on the conveyor belt all over the shopping carts. It's unsanitary. And take a look. Most of the plastic refuse in the ocean is coming from Africa and Asia. We don't see any evidence from these people showing that it's harmful to the animals. Yeah, sure, the can strap things, okay, but these people are going way too far. We need to galvanize against this legislature and get them out, get a Republican majority, do whatever it takes, galvanize, raise money, campaign against them. But these people are total extremists.
Well, there you go. There's your rallying call, everyone. Dave, thanks so much for the call. Appreciate it. Fred writes in and says, I use those stupid plastic bags to wrap up my stupid recyclable soda bottles to put in the recycle bin. Well, this is another stimulating hour of conversation. Oh, we're not supposed to say that word.
In Topanga.
You know, I was supposed to do a whole half hour on Rob Bonta's lawsuit against Big Plastic, but I guess we'll save that for another day. Hey, I'm back doing John Phillips Show tomorrow from noon to 3, and then here from 5 to 6, doing the News Blitz every day on Talk Radio 790 KABC.